Hi, I'm Heidi. I am the founder of the First Aid Nest. Now, today we're going to talk about choking in an adult or a child. And choking is honestly one of the most jaw-droppingly scary things that can happen to anyone. And I have, even though I'm a nurse and I work in a hospital for the last 22 years, I have seen the aftermath of a choking episode, but not actually a choking episode in the hospital, because obviously we see them after. However, I have dealt with two choking episodes in public. Both happened to be children, both under 18 months old. And it was the real deal. It was extremely scary. Luckily, I knew what to do, and there was a very good outcome each time. But this can happen to anyone. I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, or the right place at the right time, depending on how you look at it. So the thing we need to watch for choking, whether it's an adult or a child, if the person has a good productive cough, we need to just let them cough, okay? So we don't want to sort of start panicking and slapping them on the back if they actually have a good cough. A good expiratory cough is telling us that that person is getting enough air in to be able to fill their lungs to get a good cough out. So a good cough is telling us that actually the air is still flowing quite nicely. There might be a partial obstruction there, but it's not a full obstruction. And we've got some time and we can help them. We can help them sit up, we can help them calm down, and we can, just be with them. They might vomit. We need to just make sure that we've got them in a safe situation. Now, the problem lies when this cough becomes weaker, or they're making a noise when they're breathing. Okay, that means that the obstruction is much more significant. It's still not a full obstruction because they are still managing to breathe a little bit, but there's not a good airflow because that cough is becoming weak, so they're not managing to get much air in, which means the cough out, the expiratory cough becomes weak. Okay, so this is where we need to start first aid. We can do 5 back slaps, okay, which I'll talk about in a second, before we call the ambulance, or if the person stops breathing completely, we call the ambulance straight away, okay? So the back slaps are given with the heel of the hand in the middle of the shoulder blades, and we're going to get the person to sit down and lean forward just slightly, and we're going to give them 5 back slaps on the back between the shoulder blades, and we're going to check with them, sort of just go round and check in the mouth between each back slap, and just to see if they've brought anything up, and just see if they're still okay and still actually breathing. Okay, so we're going to do it quite short and sharp. So we're going to give it a real sort of short, sharp slap between the shoulder blades, and we're going to give a couple of seconds between each one to see if actually that has worked or not. So we're going to do 5, okay? Once you've done 5 back slaps, if the person still has a very weak cough or a noise when they're breathing, and they're very distressed because there's a partial obstruction in the airway, we need to do chest thrusts. Now we're going to do these against the back of a chair or against a wall, or if they have to lay down, then we do them on the floor with them laying on their back, okay? Before we start this, we're going to call an ambulance because the 5 back slaps haven't worked, and we need to get an ambulance there as quickly as possible. Okay, so the chest thrusts, again, we're going to use the heel of our hand, and we're going to pop the heel of our hand between the nipples, okay? We're not going under where the ribs are, we're just going between the nipples, and we're going to push down, short, sharp push, around about 1/3 of the depth of the chest, and we're going to take at least a couple of seconds between each one to see if actually they bring anything up, okay? So we're going to push deep and short and sharp, and really what we're trying to do is just push the air out of the lungs to pop that foreign object out of the airway, okay? So we're going to do 5, and we're going to give at least 2 or 3 seconds between each one to see if actually anything moves and that we are actually helping them, okay? We're going to do 5 of them before we turn them around and we go back to the back slaps, okay? Now we're going to continue the 5 back slaps and 5 chest thrusts until either the person recovers, help arrives with the ambulance, or the person stops breathing. Now, if the person stops breathing, we go straight into CPR, okay? So you can read more about that on our blog or in one of our first aid courses, but they're the 3 instances, okay? The only time you're allowed to put your fingers in someone's mouth is if you can actually clearly see something that you think you could get with your pincer fingers, okay? If it's like a leaf or a toy with a bit of string or anything like that that you could easily get with your pincher fingers, then you can reach in and get that, but not deep, okay? Not anywhere near past sort of a half a centimetre from the back of the teeth, okay? As in the front teeth. Do not ever stick your finger in and do a finger sweep, because this could push something further down and then you've got more of a problem and the first aid might not work because something's really jammed. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you today. As ever, we're here for any questions. Take care.